Well, good morning, or I should say, or perhaps it'll be good afternoon wherever you are, but it's absolutely our pleasure here at introducing Youth to American Infrastructure, Inc., IA, to launch our first virtual innovation challenge. And we are thrilled this morning to have the Chicago Transit Authority and their team of young adults that are our inaugural innovation team. And of course, it's a thrill to have all our judges are here as well. And so let me just kick off and say that the CTA, and that's how they are fondly referred to as in our industry, that their team's theme is opening the doors. And I'm not going to say too much. Okay, the central idea is developing a youth ambassador program that really connects all the communities to transit. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the team members. Brad Skiniotis. Brad has 8.5 years of transit experience. He's CTA's maintenance manager. He's currently in the role of bus maintenance manager for CTA. He began his career as a bus driver for the University of Iowa campus bus system, CAMBus, where he became a mechanic and eventually a maintenance supervisor for CAMBus. He graduated from the University of Iowa with a BS in statistics before continuing his transit career at the Chicago Transit Authority. And at CTA, Brad's goal is to make CTA a smarter place to work and to stay on the cutting edge of the industry. Brad, glad to have you with us this morning. And he's one of the team leads for CTA. Next, I go to Katori Shepard. She's an assistant administrative account executive with L3 Agency. She currently works at the L3 Agency, where she serves in that capacity and as the associate producer for the signature podcast Black Business Matter, hosted by Larvetta Lofton. And before she came to the L3 Agency, she studied advertising and public relations at Grand Valley State University. And Katori, we're absolutely pleased to have you with us this morning. And she is also the other team lead for the CTA, Innovation Challenge team. Next, we have Brandon Lewis. Brandon is a Chicago COMTO member, Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. He was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. Brandon graduated from Air Force Academy High School at the top of his class with a major in business administration and a minor in general business at Tennessee State University. One of Brandon's career highlights includes the creation of a documentary with his organization called GT7, which stands for Gifted Talent 7 in West Africa. He was a philanthropic intern in Texas, and when he was in that capacity, he assisted in securing scholarships for about a dozen students. During his tenure as a CTA intern, he was an operational intern video specialist. Today, he is looking to utilize his experiences in accounting, economics, finance, marketing, philanthropy, human resources, and general business to support a company's vision and excel as a valued team member. Brandon, thank you. Now we go to Jake Lang, and Jake is a performance management analyst at the Chicago's Transit Authority. He's also, and I found this very interesting, a young student of data science with a passion for community engagement and informed decision-making. He studied political science, sociology, and anthropology and global and international studies at Loyola Chicago before continuing his studies at the Harris School of Public Policy, where he earned his master's of public policy in 2022. And after completing his degree, Jake began his career with the Chicago Transit Authority, where he currently works as a performance analyst and manages key metrics with maintenance leadership around pressing challenges and month-to-month successes. And there is where he really helps to develop those informative tools that really help to make the difference. Jake, welcome to you this morning. Now we move on to Colin Graham. Okay. Which is it, Colin? Colin, I got you, Colin Graham. He is a Chicago Transit Authority intern at Northern Illinois University. Since a very young age, Colin has extensively participated in community service events, such as the Go Green team, which was devoted to save energy and keep his school clean in first grade, a bell ringer for the Salvation Army when he was in the third grade. He has tithed over $100 to the Pullman Christian Reformed Church service and provided hours of community service. In his junior and senior year, he also participated in serving in the King College Prep Ice Cream Social that the National Honor Society used as a fundraiser. And Colin, we are absolutely thrilled to have you with us here this morning. Now I'm going to move on to Sean McCants. He is another Chicago Transit Authority intern. He attended Kent State University in Kent, Ohio to study fashion merchandising and digital media production. After completing 2 semesters and gaining valuable experience at KSU, he transferred to East West University, where he is currently majoring in business administration with a minor in digital media. In the near future, he also plans on, boy, you're busy, on obtaining his life and health insurance license. He also currently works as a customer service representative at Farmers Insurance, where he has gained essential marketing skills such as telemarketing and email marketing that complement his CTA internship, and where he has a focus on developing inclusive and accessible marketing strategies. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Now I'm moving on to Soumya Monroe. Soumya, have I pronounced that correctly?
It's Soumya.
Soumya, thank you very much. Okay, Soumya is a CTA brand management intern. She's currently pursuing a degree in marketing and data science at Loyola University Chicago. As the first generation immigrant, she discovered her true passion lies in the field of marketing and brand management, and particularly in understanding how companies strategically tailor their marketing efforts to specific locations, religions, and cultures. Presently, she is interning at the CTA in their diversity department, diversity programs department, where she is involved in brand management and is excited for the opportunity to contribute to the organization's objectives while expanding her knowledge and her expertise in the field. Soumya, thank you so much for being with us today. And then we're going to close here with Tyler Ocampo, Ocampo, a CTA graphic design intern. Tyler Ocampo is 22 years old, currently attending DePaul University as an animation major. He works for CTA as a graphic design intern in the Human Resources Department under a specialized team called the Marketing Outreach and Engagement Team. He's a first-generation college student trying to make a difference in the world through creativity. Growing up, art was an outlet for Tyler to express himself. His goal is to use his career to create things that have meaning and strengthen his community's sense of awareness. At CTA, he creates graphics across all types of medium and is currently working on internal designs that are part of a major attraction retention initiative to help keep employees happy at the Chicago Transit Authority, proud and committed to actively pursue their mission of providing quality, affordable transit services that link people, jobs, and communities. And now it gives me great pleasure to let the team introduce themselves by their video. Will you take it away?
Dr.
Thank
Scott.
you. Thank you.
Dr. Scott, real quick.
Yes.
We also have Felicity Crowder with us.
Oh, Felicity, my mistake. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Felicity. Okay. How could I miss you? Okay. Felicity is human resources intern at the CTA. She's 20 years old and a student at the University of Illinois at Chicago. She is majoring in urban studies and has a minor in public policy. Felicity is currently a year-long intern at the Chicago Transit Authority, and she's working in the human resources department. And she is also a first-generation college student who moved to Chicago with the sole purpose of really submerging herself into a major city. As a CTA intern, she has worked on multiple projects, gaining a better insight into the inner workings of the Chicago Transit Authority. And a project she's been working on particularly really have been focused on the areas of employee protection and retention. And with that, now, CTA team, I turn it to you. Please let it roll.
Opening the Doors, or OTD for short, is an innovative approach to engaging students and burgeoning career seekers across the city of Chicago and beyond. Our goal is to develop programming that allows participants to interact with transit systems, operations, and infrastructure in a way most never have the chance. We'll call those candidates ambassadors. This project invites ambassadors to the field, seeing them alongside bus operators and mechanics, flaggers and customer service assistants, departmental directors, and more. We know firsthand experience is the best way to learn, and learning directly from someone whose job you just might want or never knew existed in the first place is the next best thing. By bringing OTD ambassadors to work alongside CTA employees, we're helping to illuminate new opportunities and inspire passion in making the city move. What's more, we're addressing a slowing workforce and inviting young minds and fresh eyes to help reinvigorate our transit systems. Transit is core to our city's fiber just as much as many others, and quality transit is a necessity for smooth day-to-day operation. Field experience, community, and relationship building all work to establish pathways to career growth and opportunity, addressing core needs and enlivening the workforce. With commitment to our mission, we're certain ambassadors will leave OTD with more than a 7-day CTA pass. We're tackling this challenge with an eye for diversity, equity, inclusivity, and accessibility. From the start, we're prioritizing historically disinvested and marginalized communities, using the latest data to align our actions with our words. Systems are already being established to determine where best to place program resources and present communities with opportunities. To get the ball rolling, we plan to take a four-pronged approach with our outreach, from meeting with aldermen, presenting at schools and community gatherings, and advertising campaigns on social media and CTA vehicles. Our goal is to enroll as many bright young minds, whether they're interested in working behind the wheel of a bus or with their keyboard and mouse designing the CTA's next logo. Taking this to the street, we know it's all about outreach. Prioritizing strong marketing and relationship building with community leaders will drive program intake as we interview and invite talented and dedicated individuals to engage with the world of transit. With strong connections comes a strong foundation which we plan to use to further OTD and alum's futures, engaging alumni and maintaining momentum as the program develops alongside them. Our people first, data second approach, beginning with our program's establishment, will help us connect with outreach candidates, track successes, and monitor challenges as OTD grows. With a strong foundation, scaling outside Chicago shouldn't be much more than a bit of work. Plus, with on-the-ground know-how, we'll be ready for anything. Of course, we'll face challenges. Implementation of the CTA alongside the safety and training required of some positions, buy-in from new candidates, and our own program offerings will grow and change as the project expands. With commitment and a strong baseline, dedicated community partners and candidates, and our city's need for a strong and diverse transit workforce, we will succeed. Our effort to recruit, teach, and learn alongside our ambassadors and career seekers will only push us onward as we open the doors.
And with that, We're starting the timer.
All right, can everyone see the screen? Good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. On behalf of the Chicago Transit Authority, I am proud to introduce our Innovation Challenge team. I would like to thank AYA and CTA leadership for giving us this opportunity. Our project titled Opening the Doors is a unique and innovative way to introduce and market transit to youth populations while focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I would like to now hand it over to my co-leader of the team, Katori Shepard, of the L3 Marketing Agency.
With this presentation, we plan to address two of the topics provided by AYA. We plan to address ways we can provide greater transparency within these marginalized communities, along with providing ready and affordable access to public information. We also plan to meaningfully engage and expand citizen and community participation by opening the doors of the CTA with a week-long internship.
Our mission for the week-long Open Your Doors internship program is to foster a robust and diverse workforce through engaged learning and empowering community connections by serving marginalized groups and vulnerable populations. To achieve this mission, we will have a target audience of young professionals with an age range of 16 to 22, resulting in a need-based, equity-focused approach that will inform youth of opportunities within the transit industry.
The program comprises 3 aspects with extensive opportunities for engagement after the internship ends. To begin, interns select a pathway, either college or trade, which are split between the spring and summer and fall and winter seasons. Once in that pathway, interns choose a position or series of positions to job shadow for a week. During that week, interns are encouraged to record short vlog style videos where they answer prompts regarding their experiences, surprises, and more. This helps interns to reflect on the internship so far, as well as acting as a secondary layer of marketing and transparency. Beyond the program, interns are invited to become ambassadors, where they can further deepen their connection with the CTA, attending focus groups regarding the program and the CTA at large, tapping into an ever-developing network of alumni, and representing the program at their schools and communities, furthering our connections with the community.
To engage and create a rich network of ambassadors, we developed the following incentives. All participants will receive the CTA Transit Pass for the duration of their internship, ensuring reliable transportation to and from their work sites. For both college and trade pathways, base incentives include a $300 scholarship for education and stipends for materials or certifications. Participants can also earn a one-time $50 referral bonus, resulting in a potential total of $350 per intern.
Of course, before we consider incentivizing participation, we have to think about responsibly distributing access. What you see on the left is a map of Chicago's aldermanic wards with a number in the center representing a goal of interns for that location. We've considered a number of metrics for this goal and have landed on 2. The first, transit accessibility, which is on the left, measures a ward such that as a ward has fewer than average rail and bus lines running through it, the number of interns for that ward increases. We've also considered a series of socioeconomic factors, neatly packaged into a metric called economically disconnected areas, which was developed by the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning and then scaled. This looks at a series of variables, such as the percentage of the population that are limited English proficiency, people of color, or living under the median income, helping to identify and target historically disinvested and disenfranchised communities. While of course this data provides an excellent narrative and overview, that information might not always be accessible or relevant to the community. Community need might also override the narrative our data provides, and the model may be too simplistic or general, needing tweaks moving forward and building upward. Of course, using this framework, we can better target communities using a variety of marketing strategies.
So in terms of marketing strategies and tactics, there are 3 different avenues that we wanted to focus on to help promote the program. Number 1 is connecting with the Chicago Public Schools. So we wanted to have a strong partnership with CPS to promote the OTD internship program. We want to utilize various omni-channels, including the Noble School Network, which will grant us access to 15 different schools and connect us with thousands of high school students across the city. By doing this, we want to reach out to students who may not be aware of the opportunity through the internet and social media, but can be informed about it through their schools, either by their teachers, like school board, or even other student clubs. Number 2 is present the opportunity to aldermen. So we want to forge a connection with the Chicago aldermen through the city council meetings, where we would promote and bring this opportunity to them. And by doing this collaboration, we will have access to need-based data. And then with that, we can have making sure that the opportunities would be available to a wider range of individuals from different communities and income levels. Number 3 is community outreach. So we want to participate in community outreach events that will further enhance our efforts by partnering with youth organizers to amplify our impact, which can strengthen our presence and engagement with local communities, allowing us to effectively reach a wider audience and create meaningful connections with diverse groups and individuals. So in terms of where we're going to market, so a couple of the marketing places we want to put on platforms are things such as Instagram, Facebook, which CTA already has, and then new places such as Snapchat and Spotify. We believe that doing this will allow us to have a variety of places to platforms such as where youth are, and also where parents, the community, and aldermen will have access to as well. And then in terms of transit, we're already going to use something that CTA already has, such as paper ads. We'll put on top of the bus, like the bus platforms, as well as bus racks and train racks. And then that will have like QR codes on the paper ad signs or on the wraps. And then for people who don't have access to the internet or electronic devices, we will also have paper, like physical paper flyers that will be at all CTA terminals, where people can grab one if they're waiting for the train or something they might be interested in as well.
We've analyzed our program through a SWOT framework, reviewing opening the door's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. Our strengths are as diverse as our program offerings, from our equity-centric, data-driven models to a breadth of experiences and work locations available to interns. Of course, with breadth comes difficulty in sharing the program, both across the city and the program's full scope, and it may take some time to build out. Of course, opportunities abound. As the program grows, so too does the alumni network, and with it, our opportunities for relationship building with governmental and community organizations, where we can invite on leaders and activists to co-create and assess our equity impact. We expect challenges, mostly around buy-in, whether that's community opposition to added priorities to the CTA's docket, concerns about safety with the positions involved in the program, or in finding staff that are willing to share weeks of their time to the internship program. Of course, whatever challenges OTD faces, we've built a plan to tackle them.
The first step in our building out initiative is developing official applications based on our Opening the Doors internship program. Next, we will present to CTA internal leadership and develop plans and processes for department responsibilities. The example, operations, maintenance, safety, and security. Next, we will present to CTA board and upper management for approval. Moving forward, we would present to City Council and CPS high school officials to distribute applications to our future ambassadors. And finally, we project a 6-month development process and an eventual rollout start in 2024. Our chart estimated cost is based on 10,000 simulations of participation and referral, including the one-time $50 bonus per participant, which are randomly selected across the participants. Based on the models mentioned, we're estimating costs range between $15,000 and $45,000, with a maximum of 151 people and a minimum of 50 people across transit accessibility and economically disconnected areas.
We see this program being a tremendous addition to the transit agencies across the country. However, to get to that point requires time and development. CTA would further develop the program, experimenting with the model for more efficiency and developing program goals, systems of funding, enrichment pathways, and more. We estimate that CTA could expand to the suburbs within 2 to 3 years, joining with PACE, Metra, and RTA. This will not only expand our reach and network past Chicago, but test how the program can be scaled in a controlled local environment. The goal would then be to take the program to the national stage. Over the course of 2 to 5 years, we believe that the program can be expanded across the country to other large cities, transit agencies. We also anticipate that the model may not be fit for every city, and we have created scaling methods for either reinventing the model or adapting the model if they're similar to CTA. After 3 to 5 years, we expect the large cities to operate how CTA did in our suburban expansion and act as an opportunity to reach smaller cities, communities, and transit agencies. Scaling down from larger cities would allow for the program to be developed best for the area and would work better than if we were to implement them all at once. Colin and Jake will now discuss how we will plan to fund the program for a scaled model.
Our scaling and funding aspect of the program will involve city and state funding, collaborating with sponsors with similar interests, and innovative outcomes from interns that create value and fund the program. When scaling, we have to find funding and resource solutions that can be implemented no matter the city, state, or transit agency. We propose that all scaled operations can access funding from the city or state, local sponsors with similar interests, and the internship itself could be used to create funding by added value and the projects hosted by the model's host. I will now pass it over to Jake for our resources.
The program has numerous resources to tap, from the relationships built with public schools and local community organizations, alongside sponsors, networks, and locations to stage meetings. All of these provide the opportunity to develop the program, expand OTD's reach, and improve our community impact. As the program grows, so too does its scope, expanding into new opportunities.
Scaling nationally opens the program up to a number of new opportunities not granted to a locally locked program, one of which is creating a status of regional ambassadors. This would be an ambassador chosen via academic achievement, their standing in the program, and other factors chosen by the city, transit agency, and sponsors. Being part of large projects, events, and other opportunities, unlike any other. Another opportunity is gaining national sponsors, one of which could be APTA, the American Public Transportation Association, which advocates for unifying transportation community across all modes for all professionals. We may even consider the federal government a sponsor as we're reaching a nationwide and innovating across the transportation industry. As we close off, Colin and Soumya will briefly restate the innovations we have developed for this program.
Our innovation informs the use of new opportunities in the transit industry, create opportunity for marginalized communities, and building futures and careers for Chicago's youth.
In terms of catering a structure that does not cater to college-specific pathways, the OTD internship programs offers a unique opportunity for students who are not solely focused on pursuing a traditional college pathway, but may be interested in something like the trades. And this program serves as a stepping stone for students to continue their educational journey, regardless of what path they choose. In terms of approaching marketing in a new way, we recognize the importance of utilizing traditional methods such as advertising on social media and transit systems. However, we aim to go beyond that by providing interns with the opportunity to blog their experience and share them through our social media channels. This approach not only enables interns to reflect on their own journey, but offers a valuable perspective for their community. Lastly, developing ambassadors that can make a difference in their respective communities. So youth alumni ambassadors play a pivotal role in the success of the OTD internship program, and they become powerful advocates who can effectively convey their experience to their own communities, including their friends and fellow students. This program then will have the message to resonate more strongly within their communities and influence to help them expand the program's reach, ensuring more students are aware and inspired to pursue transformative opportunities provided by the OTD internship. Overall, the project allowed us to see the importance of opening the doors and creating new pathways of opportunity for Chicago's youth, particularly those from marginalized communities, by granting them the chance to explore diverse pathways and equipping them with the essential skills for future success. In essence, just as the OTD internship program opened the door for youth, this project has also opened the doors for our team, creating a collaborative workspace where our diverse backgrounds and skills were brought together to converge positive change. Through this collective effort, we have discovered transformative power of unity, innovation, and shared purpose to make a lasting difference in our community.
That is all for us. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to go ahead and reset that timer so that we can start the Q&A portion of this. So judges, raise your hands if you have questions We want to keep them to 2 minutes, the questions and responses. And there will be 3 minutes at the end for a closing remark. So I'll just remind us, but let's go ahead and start. And I'll lower your hand when you're recognized.
Awesome. And then also CTA team, if you'd like to cancel the screen share so then you can see the entire judges panel, that would be cool as well. Thank you.
All right, Leslie.
Good morning, everyone. I have the honor of being designated the chief judge, but greetings from chilly San Francisco, where it's 56 degrees. I will turn to judges in alphabetical order in just a second, but just to identify myself, I went to Northwestern University as an undergraduate school. So I have a extensive understanding of the Chicago area, and I spent a lot of nights on corners waiting on the bus. So I will put my bias, my Midwestern bias aside, and perhaps first turn to Andrew Brennan, who is a vice president of National Transit and Rail Practice Consultant with HNTB, and Andrew is joining us from Boston. Andrew, any questions?
Yeah, good morning. First of all, that was a great presentation. It's a fascinating idea, and I think I came out of a transit agency. I worked at the MBTA here in Boston for a very long time, and clearly the pipeline for getting people into the transit system, into the transit workforce is incredibly difficult, has been and will be. I'm really curious about how, I think I may be naive, but I think for most people, most students, they view the transit agency as that public facing piece. Bus drivers, bus operators, train operators. A big part of the workforce problem is those things behind the scenes that they may not see. Rail mechanics, bus mechanic, particularly with electric buses, things that they don't see. How would you try to work to get them to first understand that there are these back of house jobs, as we call them, and get them interested in that? Because the need for those is incredibly high.
So when we do our OTD internship, they will shadow, we will give them a selection of different roles, and in
Okay.
that they'll be informed of these different kinds of roles. We'll be able to work alongside and see these people work on their day-to-day lives. These people will also be given the opportunity to share the CTA culture, as like internally at CTA, we kind of try to retain a long career with them. So they can kind of like see how the career progression, they'll learn that this person started on like as a rail flagger, and then now they're somewhere higher up. So that's how they see the career growth, and the opportunities there is by being with these people and experiencing one-on-one, and then presenting it back to their communities and other people through the ambassadorship presentations.
That's great, thanks.
Our next judge is Alicia Kane from Cubic Transportation Solutions, where she is the head of UMO Solutions and Market Development. Do you have any questions, Alicia, for the team?
Yes, I do. And again, I want to reiterate that was an exceptional presentation that you all made. Very engaging, and lots of data. Apparently, data was worked through to come to your to actually express how you plan to move forward with this process. But I want to open with, I spent 18 years at Hampton Roads Transit, and that's in Norfolk, Virginia. And it's a mid-sized transit agency with multi-modes. So we had all sorts of technology and things. And my background is technology. I was a CIO there. So I know when I used to tell people that I worked at Hampton Roads Transit, the first response was, do you drive the bus? So tagging on to what Andrew is asking, but in a slightly different context, there's so many, it's a fertile ground for not only the operations side, but also on the administrative side and dealing with technology. And when we talk about innovation, they are also included in the process of innovating within the transit agency and externally. And so how do you plan to market across, the fact that there are so many diverse positions, not only on the operations side, but also in technology? I know the reason that I went there was because there was so much to do on the technology front. There was never a day when I didn't have a new, just cool thing or a problem to solve or something. So how can we market to make people understand from the engineering and the technology and the, and the things that are coming out now with AI? You got AI, which is making its own risky kind of implanting within all agencies across all industries. How do you market to just say it's a cool place to work, and here are some of the cool things that we do across all types of verticals within, within the industry?
Absolutely, and I can take that. I work with performance management, which is primarily a technical department with the CTA, and we happen to work a lot with many of those projects, either alongside data analytics or a number of the other departments that are generating that data too. I think in engaging these students, obviously the first step is getting them on board, and then from there we can build. But getting them on board is a matter of sharing what we've worked on. We also partner with MIT and have had a number of folks work on modeling for rail arrival times, bus scheduling, et cetera. So sharing programs like that we've worked on, giving them better insight to what we've done, what we would like to do, recruiting people, really emphasizing, I think, the data science aspects, and especially the artificial intelligence aspects that we're growing into, the opportunity to engage with that, thinking more, especially as a student of data science, just getting excited about seeing that integrated with the transit agency. I can imagine a number of other students would be just as excited, if not more, knowing that in some cases we don't have this technology yet, but that's where you come in. That's where we can bring you in to see, here's the infrastructure that we have. Look at how rich this data is and all this information. And that would need to be a core part of our marketing, and would belong to something like sharing much more than operations. But really driving home the fact that transit provides an abundance of opportunities that goes beyond everything that we kind of expect it to be, and has room for data scientists, it has room for analysts, it has room for all of these different minds and engineers and everything, I think, on every single level. And it's through interns, and I think building something up surrounding interns as a key part of driving the CTA forward in developing this technology or encouraging its development would really help in building out the body that we have to access.
Something I like to add.
Thank you. Let me, as we turn to our remaining judges, I want to be respectful of the remaining time. And the judges don't feel compelled necessarily ask a question if you want to just pass. So our next judge is Julia Gessner. She's the Director of Administration at Transdev USA. Any questions from you, Julia?
Yes, I have a couple, and hopefully they won't be too involved. I really did like how you talked about continuing to push involvement post internship with having them essentially become ambassadors. So my first question, and you may have answered it at some point, but I think it's something that would need to be emphasized, especially when you look at this from an equity perspective, is one, would the interns be paid? You may have answered it throughout, but that's something that if you were to present this to a board, I would really emphasize and tie it into the fact that there's a lot of people that cannot afford to take an unpaid internship, and it shouldn't be viewed, internship should not be viewed as just a way to have free labor. And then Two, when you talked a lot about assessing the program 6 months after, what would your measures of success be?
I could begin. As it comes to funding or incentives, there are scholarship funds, both for college or trade schools alongside stipends to support students' books or certifications, as well as that referral program built in, which covers a total of $350. The internship is the length of a week and primarily revolves around shadowing, less so, I think, actual work. So our goal isn't to get free labor, but to exhibit the work that's on show. Tyler, do you want to take your point?
No, I think you captured a lot of what we want to do. Like, obviously, we have like our stipends and trying to support them in making their informed decision. Obviously, one point of the information is from actually shadowing and experiencing the breadth of what we do here at different transportation agencies. And then obviously then giving them some push into resources to pursue that transportation career. So as far as like funding them, we're kind of funding them through these stipends and also the kind of knowledge of these things.
Thank you. Our remaining judge is Greer Johnson Gillis of the Jacksonville Transit Authority from Florida, where she is a senior vice president and chief infrastructure and development officer. Greer, do you have a question?
Actually, I do. And I actually will follow on to Julia's question. But first of all, thank you, Leslie. And good morning, CTA. Great job on the presentation. Very sharp. Understand that this is not a paid internship, but you are offering some sort of incentives, as you mentioned, some scholarships and what have you. Help me understand your rationale for determining the dollar value of those incentives. I think it was $50 and $150 you mentioned. How did you come to that rationale, number one? And number two, great concept in your SWOT analysis. I think every team should always do a SWOT analysis. You had some challenges you mentioned there, but you didn't really tell us how you're going to overcome those challenges. Can you give us kind of a synopsis of one of the challenges and how you already plan to overcome them?
I can mention just about the dollars amount. That is something that would be up for discussion to the individual transit agencies, and that's something that could be developed or altered in the future as the program development gains ground. The numbers are not fixed, but they mainly focus on like what's an appropriate amount to give this many interns when they're only staying here for 1 week, type of thing. So we thought it was a reasonable amount, and then the $50 incentive actually has a purpose to incentivize the students to go back to their communities and schools and tell their story, and then share it with their friends and community members so they can get someone else in the door to see what we do here.
Thank you. And we have 2 minutes, and I have 2 quick questions, just pragmatically for the team. What is the anticipated duration of an internship? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Or just how long? And how many interns would you maximally expect to be included in the program if you were to cost it out? Thank you.
So yeah, the internship is 1 year, but we're splitting it between 6 months. So the first 6 months would be like people who want to do a traditional college pathway. And then the second 6 months would be someone who wants to do like specifically like something in the trades. So each like 6 months would have the individuals shadow with people from those areas. And then in terms of the second question,
It was about the amount of
the amount of people is basically based on the wards and which wards. I think we showed it previously on our slide. Each ward has a specific amount of people we want to reach, and those wards that are like low have less potential usually have more opportunities to bring more students into those wards. And then Jake, do you want to answer?
Yes. Kind of as Soumya was saying, It's really based on the need-based metrics that we've assessed, with a total of 155 people expected. That's split across the year, so that's a goal for an entire year. With prices ranging, or costs, at least based on incentives alone, ranging between $15,000 and $45,000. So with that max 155, with referrals estimated about $45,300.
Right. And surprisingly, we're completed it all within the allotted time. Great job, team and judges. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. And there's one moment just for closing remarks. I think it was a
Yes, sorry.
couple
Yeah.
moments.
We'll
We get
provide
3
you
minutes.
about 2.5 minutes if the team wants to provide closing remarks.
Yeah, so we just want to also, again, re-emphasize the importance of creating new pathways and opportunities for the youth of Chicago, specifically marginalized communities. And we hope by allowing them to shadow different areas of CTA, not only will they be able to explore different paths that they might want to do either in the trades or specifically traditional college, but also they'll be able to see the opportunities that CTA has to offer them outside the internship, and it'll be something that they want to come back to after the internship is over, not only as ambassadors, but maybe as full-time employees and college interns as well. And then we just want to equip them with essential skills for future success, even if they decide not to be here at CTA, they have the skills and opportunities that we have provided them to be successful wherever they end up going.
That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you for those remarks. Go ahead, Dr. Scott, and we'll wrap up with that.
Well, I'm going to help you to wrap this up. Okay, you all have been absolutely, let me put it this way. I wanted to make sure to acknowledge your president, Dorval Carter, who's also the chair of the American Public Transportation Association. I believe that Veronica Alanis is in the room, and she's the go-to person that they went to the CTA to say, let's make sure to make this happen. And who did she do but go and pull that Conference of Minority Transportation Officials? And I definitely want to acknowledge Rovan and Brian Robinson there. And I also understand that L3 Marketing Agency, a local minority business enterprise, also came to be a tremendous local stakeholder and partner. So with that, you have done the Chicago Transit Authority absolutely brilliantly and proud this morning. And thank you very, very much for your participation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Great work.
Good.